Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your reading list and turn it into pure insight. You give us the source material, and we extract the crucial knowledge, the surprising facts, and just enough fun to keep you totally engaged.
Yeah, think of it as going from that feeling of information overload straight to the aha moment.
Exactly. Just like that.
And today, we're plunging into a really interesting development. How generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI, is starting to, well, transform commercial real estate.
And our focus is a specific retail-centric firm called Fifth Corner.
Right. They're the ones all about those key community spots, those irreplaceable corners that we all kind of recognize.
Precisely. One of our listeners, the quintessential learner, someone who wants to get up to speed quickly but doesn't want their brain completely melted.
Yeah, we know the feeling.
They shared an excerpt from this report, Transforming Fifth Corner with Generative AI, Strategic Opportunities and Roadmap. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Really dig into the strategic possibilities and the game plan for Fifth Corner to use Gen AI for a real competitive edge in retail real estate.
Okay, let's get into it. The report makes it pretty clear right from the start.
Yeah.
That Gen AI, it's not just hype anymore, not just industry chatter.
Right. Feels like it's moved past that phase.
It really has. It's rapidly becoming, well, a fundamental strategic imperative in commercial real estate.
You're not kidding. They mentioned a figure, what was it, $630 million?
$630 million, yeah. Poured into AI-powered property technology.
No.
Just in 2023.
Wow, that's a serious investment. It really shows the industry's buying in.
It does. And the report highlights some, big challenges in the industry where Gen AI could really help out. Things like talent shortages, which are a real issue, rising demands from investors, the super fast pace of tech changes like smart buildings.
Yeah.
And also this core problem of scaling up. How do you grow your property portfolio without your costs ballooning proportionally? EY's analysis really hit on that.
That totally makes sense. Usually, more properties just means hiring more people, right? And that direct link, it eats into profits.
Exactly.
So how widespread is this belief that AI is the answer or an answer?
Well, the numbers are pretty compelling. JLL did a survey over 90% of CRE C-suite execs. They believe AI will fundamentally change how their teams work.
90%.
And they're planning to accelerate AI investments. Deloitte found something similar. 72% of owners and investors are already committing funds or plan to.
So this isn't some niche thing. It's becoming mainstream thinking.
Dominant perspective, yeah.
So it's not just about analyzing numbers faster anymore, is it? The generative part of Gen AI?
Yeah.
That seems like the real shift.
Absolutely. That's the key differentiator. Gen AI goes beyond traditional analytics, which mostly tells you what happened or what might happen based on past data.
Right, descriptive or predictive.
Exactly. Gen AI can actually create new stuff. Text, images, even architectural concepts, or synthetic data for running simulations.
Wow. Okay, that opens up a lot more possibilities.
Huge possibilities within real estate.
Like what? Give me some concrete examples of how this works in practice.
Well, the report lists a whole range. Think about property operations becoming more efficient.
Okay.
Leasing and marketing getting a big boost from AI-generated materials, asset management becoming more insightful, more proactive, investor relations getting more personalized, even help with finding and assessing potential acquisitions, and just streamlining all those back-office support functions.
Okay, so instead of someone slaving away writing property descriptions,
Right.
an AI could churn out really good targeted descriptions almost instantly.
Precisely. And it's not just theory, it's starting to happen now. The report talks about AI being used to summarize those dense lease documents super quickly.
That alone would be amazing.
Totally. Or producing marketing brochures way faster. And AI chatbots handling routine tenant questions or answering investor FAQs. They even name-drop JLL's own JLL GPT and other PropTech startups jumping into this space.
That's pretty mind-blowing. It really feels like we're shifting from AI as just a data tool to AI as like an actual assistant doing real work.
Yeah, an assistant or a co-pilot.
But with all this power, there must be pitfalls, right? Watch-outs.
Definitely. The report really stresses the need for a strategic and, importantly, an ethical approach.
Okay.
It's not about just throwing AI at everything. The smart companies are picking the right use cases, the ones with the most potential value,
Right.
making sure data security is rock solid, and, crucially, piloting these things first.
Testing them at small scale before going big.
Exactly. Learn, refine, then scale. You don't want to roll out something untested across your whole portfolio.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah. So what's the potential financial impact here? Are we talking minor efficiencies or something bigger?
Oh, much bigger. McKinsey did an estimate. They reckon Gen AI could unlock something like $110 to $180 billion
Billion.
annually for the real estate industry globally.
Wow.
And even at the company level, the report points to case studies showing double-digit percentage improvements in net operating income.
Double-digit NOI improvements.
Directly from AI-driven efficiencies, that's a potentially massive boost to the bottom line.
Okay, that's where it gets really interesting. Let's zero in on Fifth Corner then, and their irreplaceable corners.
Yeah,
The report laid out 5 specific high-impact areas for them, right?
that's right. And these are really tailored to their retail focus. The first one is retail asset management.
Okay, asset management. What's the main pain point there that Gen AI tackles?
Well, the report points to just how labor-intensive it is, analyzing property performance, market trends, tenant sales figures, foot traffic data.
Right, all that number crunching.
Exactly. And then generating budgets, forecasts, exploring different what-if scenarios for maybe redeveloping a site. It all takes a ton of time and effort.
So lots of manual analysis and scenario planning.
Precisely.
Wow.
And the Gen AI solution proposed is like having an AI assistant specifically for asset management.
Okay.
This AI could ingest all that property data and start generating actionable insights, different potential scenarios.
Give me an example.
Imagine it analyzing a shopping center and suggesting, hey, based on local trends, maybe adding a pop-up food hall here could really boost foot traffic.
Yeah.
Or suggesting rent adjustments based on comps. It could even simulate the financial outcomes of, say, adding apartments above the existing retail space.
So instead of an analyst spending days on one redevelopment idea,
Yeah.
the AI could potentially generate several viable options in, like, minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe even write up a summary report.
That's exactly the vision. It's about enabling continuous portfolio optimization, letting the AI handle the heavy lifting on data analysis and initial brainstorming.
And the bottom line benefit for Fifth Corner.
Faster, better informed decisions. Asset managers could evaluate way more options much more quickly,
Makes sense?
leading to more strategic investments, timely upgrades. The AI might also spot subtle patterns in the data that a human might miss.
Like hidden opportunities.
Exactly. Maybe suggesting a better tenant mix or identifying an underperforming asset with untapped potential. They're even talking about a potential 2-5% bump in annual NOI from these data-driven decisions.
2 to 5%. That's significant.
Plus more accurate forecasting, less risk in big capital decisions. It's all about protecting and growing the value of those irreplaceable corners.
Okay, that sounds like a really powerful application. What's the second key area?
That would be tenant engagement.
Okay, tenant engagement. What's the challenge?
The main thing here is just the sheer manual effort involved in communicating with tenants. You know, handling maintenance requests, announcing events, general info.
Right.
It can lead to delays and maybe not enough personalized support, which is really key for those landlord-tenant relationships.
Yeah, especially for smaller retailers. Feeling supported by the landlord can make a huge difference in whether they stay or go.
Absolutely. So the Gene AI solution here involves a couple of things. A tenant experience chatbot and an AI analytics agent working behind the scenes.
A chatbot. Okay, how would that work?
Well, it'd be trained on FAQs, lease details, service processes available 24/7, so a tenant's AC breaks down. They could get immediate troubleshooting steps from the chatbot.
Ah, okay.
And if needed, the chatbot could automatically create and route a maintenance ticket. It could also answer quick questions about operating hours or rules for signage.
So like a super-powered, always-on first point of contact for tenants.
Exactly. And then the AI agent in the background. It could monitor tenant sentiment, maybe through surveys or analyzing communications,
To do what?
to flag tenants who might be at risk of leaving or identify areas where satisfaction could be improved across the board. It's about being proactive and keeping tenants happy.
And the tangible benefits. What's the payoff for Fifth Corner?
Faster responses, more personalized support, those are key. They estimate maintenance issues could get resolved maybe 50% faster.
50% faster. Wow.
Yeah. And happier tenants, they stick around. So they're hoping for maybe a 10-15% reduction in tenant turnover.
Which saves a lot of money and hassle.
Definitely. Plus, the AI might suggest community events or upgrades based on tenant feedback, boosting foot traffic for everyone. It builds that reputation as a great landlord, leading to high occupancy, successful centers. It's a virtuous cycle.
Makes total sense. Happy tenants, busy centers, lower turnover, Good for the bottom line. What's number 3?
Third is leasing and marketing. And the perpetual challenge here is filling spaces quickly with the right tenants, minimizing that costly vacancy time.
Right. Empty shops don't pay rent.
Exactly. And creating marketing materials, getting visibility, and negotiating leases, it all takes time.
So how does Gen AI speed things up or make it better?
The report suggests a few ways. First, an AI content generator could whip up marketing brochures, property descriptions, even virtual staging for empty units.
Tailored for specific retailers.
Yeah, potentially. Second, an AI market research agent could sift through data on retail expansions, demographics, to pinpoint really promising tenant prospects.
Finding leads automatically.
Right. And third, Gen AI could assist with drafting initial lease language or summarizing key terms, speeding up negotiations. The goal is to free up the human leasing pros to focus on relationships and strategy.
So AI handles the routine stuff. Humans handle the high-touch strategy and negotiation.
That's the idea, and the benefits. Pretty substantial. Shorter leasing cycles, less vacancy because listings get out faster with AI-generated marketing.
Right. Time is money there.
Definitely. Better targeting could mean higher lease conversion rates, better quality tenants. Every month saved on vacancy is direct revenue. Plus, less chance of errors in initial drafts, faster negotiations. They even mention AI is already doing a routine lease analysis elsewhere.
Okay. Faster leasing, better tenants, less empty space, clear win. What's the fourth high-impact area?
That's property operations.
Okay, operations. What's the issue there?
Just the sheer volume of daily tasks. Managing energy use, security, repairs, compliance.
A lot to juggle.
A lot. And much of it tends to be reactive. Opportunities for efficiency, like predictive maintenance or optimizing energy use, often get missed because people are just trying to keep up. Data overload is a real thing.
Sounds like potential for things to slip through or costs to be higher than needed.
Exactly. So the proposed Gene AI solution involves AI agents integrated right into their building management systems.
How would that work?
These agents could constantly analyze operational data and make real-time adjustments. Like, an AI could learn the exact usage patterns for HVAC and lighting and optimize them dynamically.
Smarter than just a fixed schedule.
Much smarter.
Yeah.
Another AI could analyze maintenance logs and sensor data to predict when equipment might fail before it happens.
Predictive maintenance.
Right, allowing for proactive repairs, maybe even drafting the work order automatically. They talk about a central virtual operations assistant overseeing this.
So shifting from reacting to problems to actively preventing them and optimizing performance?
That's the core shift, the benefits. Leaner, more proactive operations, potentially significant cost savings, maybe double-digit percentages on utilities through smart energy management.
That's huge.
Fewer major repair costs and less downtime because you catch things early. Less workload on routine monitoring, freeing up staff, and better risk mitigation through real-time anomaly detection. It all leads to higher NOI and, frankly, a better tenant experience, too.
Smarter buildings, lower costs, happier tenants, definitely compelling. Okay, what's the fifth and final use case?
The last one is investor relations.
Crucial for any real estate firm. What's the challenge Gen AI addresses here?
Primarily the manual, time-consuming nature of preparing investor reports, updates, presentations.
Yeah, that takes a lot of effort.
It does. And as the firm grows, scaling that personalized engagement gets really tough. Delays or generic communications can damage investor confidence.
Absolutely. Keeping investors informed with timely, relevant info is key to keeping their trust and capital.
Exactly. So the Gen AI solution is pitched as an AI co-pilot for the IR team.
A co-pilot. How so?
This AI could automatically generate customized draft reports and presentations, pulling from internal financials and market data. It could even tailor the tone for different investor types.
Okay.
They also suggest a secure chatbot on the investor portal for instant answers to common questions, like, what's the occupancy at XYZ Center right now?
Instant answers, 247? That's useful.
Very. The AI agent could also handle routine emails, schedule meetings, freeing up the human IR team for strategic conversations and relationship building. Of course, humans review everything the AI produces.
Yeah, so automate the grunt work of data gathering and initial drafting. Let humans focus on the high-value interaction and strategy.
That's the essence and the benefits. A more responsive, scalable IR function, faster delivery of info, maybe cutting report prep time by 50%.
50%, wow.
Personalized communications, that 24/7 chatbot access. It all boosts investor confidence and loyalty, which can help with fundraising and retaining capital. The team can manage more investors without linearly increasing headcount. And using this tech can actually be a differentiator when seeking capital.
These 5 cases paint a really strong picture for Fifth Corner. But the report also mentioned some broader benefits beyond these specifics, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Several overarching advantages. First, just plain operational efficiency. Doing more with the same resources, reducing operating costs.
Any numbers on that?
They cited industry research suggesting nearly half of real estate firms have already cut operating expenses, sometimes up to 15% using AI.
15% is a serious saving. What else?
Second, revenue growth. Faster leasing, less vacancy, better tenant retention, maybe even finding new revenue streams through AI insights. JLL thinks AI is sparking real innovation here.
Right. Filling spaces faster, keeping tenants happy, that flows right to the bottom line.
Third, tenant satisfaction and the whole community experience. Better service, faster responses, predictive maintenance preventing disruptions. It makes for more vibrant centers and boosts Fifth Corner's reputation.
And that reputation is gold for attracting tenants and investors.
Absolutely. Which leads to the fourth point, competitive positioning. Adopting Gen AI early gives them a tech edge, makes them stand out. It could even help them spot and grab prime assets faster. It's about future-proofing.
Getting ahead of the curve, not just keeping up.
Exactly. And finally, risk reduction and better decision quality. AI can process vast data to spot risks or patterns humans might miss. Fewer errors, better data-driven strategic calls. EY mentioned this risk mitigation aspect too.
Okay, so the potential impact seems really broad and deep. But how does a company like Fifth Corner actually do this? There must be a roadmap, right?
There is a 5-step implementation roadmap. Step 1 is crucial. Prioritize the high-impact use cases.
Start smart.
Exactly. Focus on where you can get significant quick value that aligns with strategic goals. They suggested maybe leasing, marketing, or investor relations as good starting points for Fifth Corner. Get some early wins.
Build momentum and confidence. Makes sense. Step 2.
Data preparation and process alignment. This is fundamental. AI is only as good as its data.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Pretty much. So Fifth Corner needs to audit, clean, consolidate, and secure all relevant data property performance, tenant info, leases, investor data. This means data engineering, maybe integrating different systems.
And looking at internal processes, too.
Yes, reviewing and adjusting workflows to actually incorporate the AI tools effectively. It's not just plug and play.
Right. Groundwork first. What's step 3?
Pilot programs and iterative refinement. Start small with those prioritized uses, maybe a chatbot at one center or AI reports for one investor group.
Test the waters.
Exactly. Monitor results, get feedback, tweak the AI models, learn and fix issues in a controlled way before going big. Leading firms do this.
Okay, pilot, learn, refine. Sounds prudent. Step 4.
Scale up and full rollout. Once pilots prove successful, expand them across the portfolio. Maybe introduce more use cases. This likely means investing more in tech infrastructure, cloud, API, security.
And training people.
Huge focus on training and change management. Get everyone comfortable. They suggest appointing internal AI champions to help drive adoption.
People need to be brought along. Final step.
Step 5 is ongoing. Governance, ethics, and continuous improvement. Set up clear rules for responsible AI use. Data privacy, addressing bias, human oversight.
They're really important guardrails.
Critical.
Yeah.
Form an internal governance committee, maybe, and foster a culture of continuous learning. AI evolves fast, so they need to keep up. It's a long-term digital transformation journey.
Not a one-off project.
Okay.
Yeah. And the report mentioned OMA, this consulting firm, could help Fifth Corner with all this.
It did. OMA positions itself as a partner with expertise in both AI tech and commercial real estate specifically. They highlighted several ways they can support.
Like what?
One is AI agent deployment. Designing, building, training, and integrating custom Gen AI agents like that tenant chatbot or investor Q&A tool tailored specifically to Fifth Corner's data and needs.
So bespoke solutions, not just off the shelf.
Right. Another big one is data engineering and integration. Helping Fifth Corner get that crucial data foundation right. Aggregating data from different systems, property management, IoT sensors, spreadsheets, databases.
Bringing it all together securely.
Exactly. Cleaning it, structuring it, making sure it's usable and secure. That's critical.
Absolutely. What else can OMA do?
They offer specific investor automation solutions. Automating report generation using financial templates, benchmarking data, understanding compliance and tone.
Streamlining that whole IR process.
Yeah, and integrating things like AI chat and dashboards into the investor portal. Also, asset management automation using predictive analytics and Gen AI simulators tailored for retail centers align with that irreplaceable corner philosophy.
So making the AI strategy really specific to Fifth Corner's business.
Precisely. And finally, AI governance and training, helping set up the rules for ethical use, risk management, compliance. Drafting an AI policy, providing training for staff at all levels. The goal is to empower Fifth Corner for the long run.
Sounds like a comprehensive support package. So what's the big takeaway? The final conclusion and next steps recommended for Fifth Corner.
The report wraps up by strongly emphasizing that Gen AI is a massive opportunity for Fifth Corner to really reinvent operations, boost competitiveness, drive major improvements.
It underlines the potential again.
Yeah, citing that industry evidence of potentially 10% plus NOI gains, it stresses the competitive need for early adoption and leverages Fifth Corner's existing innovative culture.
And the immediate actions. What should they do next?
They list several concrete steps. First, executive alignment on the AI vision. Get leadership fully on board, set clear goals, assign an executive sponsor.
Top-down commitment.
Essential. Second, an AI strategy session with OMMA, a deep dive workshop to refine those use cases, check feasibility. Third, pilot project kickoff. Pick a high priority case, maybe that leasing AI or investor report tool, and get a pilot running soon, like next quarter.
Get started quickly.
Right. Fourth, infrastructure and data assessment. Start auditing the current IT and data setup. And finally, change management planning. Prepare the organization, communicate the benefits, find those internal champions.
Prepare the people side.
Exactly. The report ends with a strong call to action. This is transformative. Act decisively.
Well, that was a truly fascinating deep dive.
Yeah.
It really sounds like generative AI holds enormous potential to reshape a retail real estate firm like Fifth Corner. The possibilities for efficiency, better relationships, a stronger competitive position, they seem quite significant.
Absolutely. And for you, our listener, we hope this breakdown gave you a clear, concise graph of the key AI trends and impacts in this specific sector, without getting bogged down in technical jargon.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. For a company like Fifth Corner, so focused on creating and managing irreplaceable corners, how might successfully integrating Gen AI actually change or redefine what makes a retail location truly irreplaceable in the future?
That's a great question. Lots to think about there. And we'd encourage you, as always, to consider the ripple effects of AI across all sorts of industries, not just real estate. It's a rapidly shifting landscape, and understanding its potential is becoming more and more crucial everywhere.